What's up, my beautiful people? This is your boy Stefan, your Afro-Grenadian ambassador. I welcome you all back to my channel. My subscribers, viewers, channel members, and those of you who are watching all over the world, I appreciate you. Welcome back to my channel. Well, in this video today, my friends, we will be taking a listen of the message Ibrahim Traoré have given to African and Caribbean leaders, young African and Caribbean leaders, because I believe that in order for Africa to move forward, the youths play a very important role. We, the young people, are the ones to make the difference. Young leaders, young entrepreneurs, whoever you are. This is a clarion call by Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso to join him in the fight. It will take a while, but victory is certain if we all unite. Well, before I go into today's video, I want to give a big shout out to Swahili Nation, to African Stream, African Web or Web Africa, and all the African platforms out there. Thank you very much. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not have known a lot of the things that we know now here in the Caribbean, what is going on the continent of Africa. And I think, guys, we need to support each other. We need to form have our own platforms, so that we can avoid the censorship that is going on, on social media. So guys, take a look. Let's take a look and listen. We are looking and we are listening. All right. So let's take a listen of what Ibrahim Traoré had to say to young African and Caribbean leaders.
Tous les pays d'Afrique ici.
To gather all the African countries here, it was a dream. The African youth who can meet and talk about the prospects of the future of our continent. I am really very happy to see you, and I can tell you that I love this youth who understood that he is waking up in our continent. Our mission is certainly difficult, but thanks to you, the mission is becoming easier and easier. We have to talk to each other, to become aware, so that everyone can wake up the consciousness of those who are still sleeping. We have a challenge, and I think that this challenge begins in education first. Many of you are leaders, entrepreneurs, opinion leaders in your country. You have to be able to pass the message, especially to the youngest, and that our educational systems change to take into account our real data and educate the children for the best. Citizens of tomorrow, make sure that the youngest and the elders who did not understand, that people can understand the meaning of the fight, that we must wage so that Africa can really unite. We have been deculturized, they have come to impose a culture that is not ours. And I think that today, in all the horizons in Africa, we are coming back to our sources little by little. The culture in Africa is peace and tolerance. It is in Africa that we speak from 3 to 3, where people meet to speak and communicate. But they introduced wars in Africa so that we can never sit down, discuss, speak, and think about the prospects of the future. But today, this day, all African youth meet in Ouagadougou. For hours, you will be able to exchange and plan something for the future. From this moment on, each of you is an ambassador to pass the message of the revolution, so that the youth can get to work, unite, and take their destiny into their own hands. There is no problem without a solution as long as we can sit down and talk. But there are also situations where we have to fight to bring back dignity and integrity. It is this fight that leads the Sahelians today against the international terrorism that has been imposed on us. We thank you all for the constant support towards our countries in this fight. You have spoken of inequalities that grow in Africa between the rich and the poor. I completely agree, and we are fighting that too. The rich become richer and the poor become poorer. It is unacceptable, because it is a system that has been created in most of our states, so that the richest are the ones who lead, in favor of these imperialists. And the poor always remain poor. This is what I called the Hitlerian policy. We must all unite so that these inequalities cease, because in this union, personal interest is not the only priority. We must first see the collective interest, and it is possible. Here in Burkina, we are confronted with many problems in this fight. But we are going to lead it. The richest, who have enough billions, most of the time have their fortunes in the imperialist banks. But they have no concern for the poorest. We have launched the Patriotic Support Fund, where the poorest of Burkinabe contribute. We would have liked to see our billionaires come and contribute billions to save our country. But that is not what is happening. And when we do not launch in the same logic to give them all the markets of the state, they fight us. Last year, when I spoke with you, I said that I had seen bankers put a mechanism in place with the state to finance young people. But so far, I have not seen anything. We were forced, in a given month, to set up a treasury bank, very quickly to find a mechanism to support young people in their businesses. This is not competition with the private sector, but we must be able to fight inequalities. As long as inequalities are not fought, injustice reigns, poverty reigns, and insecurity will reign. Why should you communicate? Because it is they who hold the power of money. They will always try to manipulate young people so that we disappear. And today, in Africa, youth are starting to fight against corruption and certain deviations from good governance in their country, and we support them. You have to bring us, the leaders, to do the impossible for you. And we will have to find the necessary solutions. Otherwise, we will tell you that we are limited to such a place. And I hope we can understand each other. So, we have a common mission. Your mission is to bring us to be better so that the continent is better. And our mission is to put everything into action to exploit all the potential of our country, so that youth flourish. So I invite you to reflect on this subject, to make the right proposals so that we can together save our continent, Africa. And I know how to count on you to lead the same debates, the same reflections. And to finish, I will tell you, you have to believe in yourself. It starts with believing in yourself, believing in youth. Poverty is what made us understand, but the reality is that we are rich. Let's make sure that our wealth belongs to everyone, and that this youth can flourish, and that we have the security that we want and development. We can and we will win the fight. Good luck to everyone and good reflection. I wish you all the best in your country, and that the message that I gave you as an ambassador can continue to perpetuate in your respective states. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Man, I wish we had bold leaders like this in the Caribbean. Leaders that practice what they preach. Because this is the kind of politicians, these are the kind of leaders that we are desiring to have. Leaders that practice what they preach. Politicians are people who are supposed to be practicing what they preach. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So guys, you know, I love to hear Ibrahim Traoré talk. I can listen to this young man every day. I can listen to this leader every day, you know. He is one in a million. Now, if you look at the crowd, you know, that he was addressing, they were very, very pleased. Very, very pleased and attentive to what he was saying. And, you know, maybe there were a few who was not paying quite attention. And, you know, you would always have some agents. You know, you have agents that are there, that is planted there to monitor and spy out the liberty of Africa and Africans and to report it back to their masters. But Ibrahim Traoré is not a leader that is intimidated. He will speak his mind without being afraid, you know, without being intimidated. And I love that. I really love this leader in Burkina Faso, and we are growing to love him every day here in the Caribbean. Yes. And, you know, one of the things that he have said, that the decolonization of the minds of people will take time. You know, guys, it will not happen overnight. It will take time. And notice what he said. The first step in doing so is tackling the education, the educative system. And one of those things we saw he did when he came into, you know, leadership is he reformed, he decolonized, he reformed the education system. You know, everything that the colonial masters have installed, he uninstalled it and implemented the African way of things in the education. Because you see, education influences the mind. And if you want to break the stronghold of colonization and all these things that we were brainwashed with, you must go to its source, and that is the education. Once we are able to, reform the education of our society, the educative system, then we will be able to decolonize the minds. So I'm calling on the leaders in Africa and the Caribbean. Please support this young man. Support him. If we don't support him, then all is lost for us. And I want to say that quite frankly. If we don't support this young man, we don't join the Sahel, we don't join this young man in bringing Africa back to where it once used to be, and even better, not going back to where it was, but even better to how it was. If we don't do that, all is lost for us. Nigeria, wake up. Ghana, wake up. You guys are the first giants of Africa who should be leading the charge, joining this man, this young man, in the fight against imperialism. Wake up, because it takes us to do it. Nobody will do it for us. And as he said, we the youths are the ones that will get this done. Because all the old heads have done what they did. They contributed what they contributed. Some was good, some was bad. The baton have to be passed on. It is us, young Gen Zs, the young African Gen Zs, black Gen Zs who are in the continent and in the diaspora are the ones that will only move this thing forward. Nobody will do it for us, So it is us young people. It is us to shape the future of now, not tomorrow. I think that's a brainwashing thing for us as well. They tell us, you are the future of tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. You are the future of tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. You wonder when tomorrow will arrive. It's now. Now is the accepted time. Now is the day of change. Now it is time for us to come and make that impact. So guys, take care. God bless you. Until next time, let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to reading them all. Goodbye for now.